In a small village, nestled between rolling hills, there was a little pottery workshop. It was a warm and peaceful place, filled with the earthy smell of clay. The master of this workshop was an old potter, his hands rough and skilled from years of shaping the earth into beautiful things. On the shelves around him sat his creations: tall, elegant vases, delicate cups, and sturdy bowls, each with its own character. One afternoon, the calm of the workshop was broken by the arrival of a young boy named Leo. His shoulders were slumped, and his eyes, usually bright with curiosity, were downcast and filled with a heavy sadness. The old man looked up from his work, his kind eyes softening with concern. "Leo, my boy," he said gently, "what troubles you today?" Leo shuffled his feet, unable to meet the old man's gaze. "Grandpa," he began, his voice barely a whisper, "I feel useless. At school, everyone is so good at something. Maria can paint beautiful pictures, David is the fastest runner, and Clara knows all the answers. But me, I'm not special at all. I'm just ordinary." He finally looked up, his eyes glistening, and pointed to a low shelf in the corner. "I'm just like that plain, ugly clay jar over there." The old potter smiled a gentle, knowing smile. Without a word, he walked over to the shelf. He carefully picked up the simple, unglazed clay jar. It was indeed humble, with a rough texture and no decoration. Then he reached for another piece, a magnificent porcelain vase, painted with intricate blue dragons and phoenixes that seemed to dance in the light. He placed them side by side on his workbench. "Now, Leo," the old man said, "look at these two. Which one do you think is more valuable?" Leo didn't hesitate. He pointed to the gleaming vase. "That's easy. The porcelain vase, of course, it's beautiful and perfect. Everyone can see its value." "It is beautiful," the old man agreed, nodding, "and its purpose is to be admired, to bring joy to the eyes." He then turned his attention to the plain clay jar. "But this jar," he said, his voice dropping to a reverent tone, "has a different purpose." He slowly, carefully, lifted the lid from the clay jar. As he did, a soft, ethereal steam began to rise from its opening. Then a delicate, calming fragrance filled the air around them, the sweet, soothing scent of jasmine tea. The old man closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. "Ah!" This jar is made to hold the most exquisite tea leaves. Its thick, humble walls keep the tea dark, safe, and perfectly fragrant. It preserves what is precious inside. Every time I open it, its aroma brings me peace and clarity. The beautiful vase, he said, opening his eyes and looking directly at Leo, cannot do that. Leo was silent, his gaze fixed on the unassuming jar. He leaned in and took a slow, deep breath, filling his lungs with the gentle perfume. "You see, my child," the old man continued, placing a warm hand on Leo's shoulder, "every person, like every piece of pottery, has a different value. Do not make the mistake of comparing your rough outside to someone else's polished finish. Your value is not in how you look or in trying to be like someone else. Your value lies in what you hold inside, your kindness, your thoughts, your unique spirit, your own fragrance. Find that, nurture it, and the world will come to know your true worth." Leo looked from the ornate vase to the simple clay jar and finally down at his own hands. The sadness in his eyes had been replaced by a spark of understanding. He reached out and touched the clay jar, not with pity, but with a newfound respect. He left the workshop a short while later, walking out into the afternoon sun. But he walked differently now. His back was straighter, his head held higher. He carried with him a secret knowledge, a quiet confidence. He wasn't just an ordinary boy anymore. He was a vessel, waiting to be filled with his own unique and priceless gifts. Moral of the story: your true worth is not determined by how you compare to others on the outside, but by the qualities, talents, and kindness you hold within. Never underestimate the value of your own inner fragrance.